Adding runtime error messages to page validation. One of the requirements when writing this site was the ability to model object constraints in OCL and then validating the current page against those constraints. The problem with normal validators is that they are designed to validate individual controls rather than a list of constraints on an object. The approach I took was to create a validator which I can place on any web form and add as many errors to as I required. The first step was to create a web control which supported IValidator public class MultiValidator, WebControl, IValidator. I then added an array list to hold the error strings, and a method to add an error. Private ArrayList Errors equals new ArrayList, public void AddError, string message, Errors.Add, message, //AddError. When ASP.NET validates a page, it enumerates all IValidators within its own validators property, and called IValidator.Validate. To determine if the page is valid or not, it then checks IValidator.IsValid. To add custom error messages at runtime, I decided to create a static validator class which always returns false from IsValidator.IsValid. For each error message in my MultiValidator, I could then simply create an instance of one of these validators. Toolbox item, false, internal class static validator, IValidator private string error message, #region IValidator void IValidator.Validate, //validate bool IValidator.IsValid get return false, set //isValid #endrajun public string error message get return error message, set error message equals value, / error message. Now that the static validator was written, all I needed to do was to add the required IValidator implementations to my MultiValidator class. #region IValidator void IValidator.Validate, IsValid equals, Errors.count equals 0, for each string error in errors, static validator equals new static validator, validator.error message equals error, page.validators.add, validator, validators.add, validator, / for each errors / validate bool IValidator.IsValid get return IsValid, set IsValid equals value, / IsValid #endrajun. Within a web form, I would now set causes validation to false on my submit button. Validate my object call MultiValidator1.AddError. For each error encountered, call page.validate. Check page.isValid as normal. Using a validation summary, I could then display the broken constraints to the user for rectification. The whole source code is listed below. MultiValidator.cs using system.collections, using system.componentModel, using system.web.ui, using system.web.ui.webControls, namespace DrewPace.web.controls public class MultiValidator, WebControl, IValidator hashtag region members private bool is valid equals true, private string error message equals, private ArrayList Errors equals new ArrayList, private ArrayList Validators equals new ArrayList, hashtag Androgen hashtag region IValidator void IValidator.Validate, is valid equals, Errors.count equals 0. For each string error in errors, static validator equals new static validator, validator.error message equals error, page.validators.add, validator, validators.add, validator, / for each errors / validate bool IValidator.IsValid get return is valid, set is valid equals value, / is valid hashtag androgen protected override void oninit, even targc, base.oninit, page.validators.add, this, protected override void on unload, even targc, if, page, equals null, page.validators.remove, this. For each IValidator invalidators, page.validators.remove, validator, / page, equals null base.on unload, public void AddError, string message, Errors.Add, message, / AddError hashtag region properties bindable, true, category, appearance, default value, public string error message get return error message, set error message equals value, / error message hashtag androgen static validator.cs using system.componentModel, using system.web.ui, namespace. DrewPace.web.controls toolbox item, false, internal class static validator, IValidator private string error message, hashtag region IValidator void IValidator.Validate, system.diagnostics.trace.write static validator.Validate, / validate bool IValidator.IsValid get return false, set / is valid hashtag androgen public string error message get return error message, set error message equals value, / error message.